Hello, lovely people. I'm Sinead, and welcome. Today, we're going to be working on that slide-in bathroom box room that I talked about for this area right here. So let's get right on to it. Let's go over to the desk and get started. Okay, so I have cut 3 pieces, 9 by 12, so 9 this way and 12 this way, 3 of those. And one piece that would be 9 by 9, except you want to cut away the thickness of the cardboard, your corrugation. You want to cut away the thickness of it twice. So for this one, it came out to 8 3/4 on that. And this is the back wall of the bathroom. Now, full disclosure here, this is the second time I have built this bathroom. So there are some things that I would definitely regret having done in the way in which I did them. So that's why we're doing it again. First off, I want to be able to, since this is only single thickness corrugation, I want to be able to assemble this with tape or glued on paper in both the inside and outside for a stronger joint. So I'm going to try and line this up. This would probably be a lot easier if I would unstack. There. Okay. So I'm lining up the back wall. I want it on top of the floor, and I want it centered. Trying to make sure I am centered. And now I am noticing that, as happens with cardboard, it's a little warped. Wondering if I can undo that a little bit. Would that help? Well, kind of. Okay, and so then I'm going to tape on the outside edge as well. Now this one is going to go around the bottom. So from here on out, this is going to be upright. Well, no, it did not help at all to do what I did. You know what? We're gonna stop and do this from the outside first instead of the inside. Hopefully I can get that to stay out of the way. Probably isn't going to though, so I'm gonna take it off. We'll just have to get another piece. Okay. Again, centering. And this is going to have to go in from where it's at right this minute, but I want to get this attached. And then just stand it upright. And then stick it to the table instead of to the cardboard. There we go. That's what I want. I lose center a little bit. Okay, we're now centered. We're now on top of the floor. Okay, now I can go back and do the interior. Hopefully this one will work a little better or easier. Hoping. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Stick it to the wall. Make sure it's fully out of the way. Well, maybe not as easy as I would hope, but you know, I think that piece of wood that I was using a piece of wood. Like, here we go. That might be the answer to getting that tape in on the inside. So we stand up. We're not perfectly square, but it is standing up. Then do the same thing, getting the outside walls attached, both inside and outside, lined up. And I think just like we did on that back wall, we're going to start with the outside first. And obviously I need a piece of tape, and this is like, I don't have a way to suspend this in midair. So all of this could be done by gluing pieces of paper on. That would totally work. And if you can do it, pre-stick. I think that helps a lot. Be able to pre-stick an area. Okay. Lined up. So one of the things that went wrong the first time through, one of many, was that because it's only a single thickness, everything that I put wallpaper on it, I decided to wallpaper everything first and then try to assemble it. And you couldn't do this joining method. That was just completely off the table. And so that was frustrating. And also all of my walls were badly warped. They just really, I mean, I have a little warpage because this box was a little warpy, but it was really bad. So that's the deal with working with cardboard, is you're going to have to figure out how best to keep things as flat as possible. And glue makes your cardboard warp. And so sometimes it is best to start with assembly, because assembly might be the thing that helps hold it square. I gotta say, that piece of wood is nice. May have shifted a little. Yep. Did shift a little back here, but you know, I'm not gonna, it's not enough to take it apart and try again. Sometimes you just gotta say, that's close enough. And folding this in half is helping get it into the corner before it sticks. And then use the piece of wood. And I got that piece a little long. I think we'll leave it there, but I'm going to cut this part off. I ran into cardboard. Okay. On that first rendition, I also put in glazing windows, which, as you can see, I am not doing any type of opening in the walls. I didn't like the results, so I didn't think it was worth repeating. But hopefully, I'll have something that, you know, requires that kind of lighting, because from being able to stick light behind and have it kind of glow perspective, it was kind of cool. So there's that. But I didn't like the way it looked in the bathroom. I felt like it was just weird. Just looked weird. So sometimes you think it's a great idea and you decide otherwise. Okay, come on. Doesn't want to stay folded in the center. Don't like touching the tape that much because, you know, you lose your sticky factor. But, man, this piece of tape just does not want to go in. Okay, let's try it from the other side. Okay, I finally got it to go in. It's not perfect, but I did get it in there enough to stabilize the wall. So now's where you would take the box and you would put it onto the floor and make sure that it's slid in. So I'm going to go over and do that. This is the paper I want to use for the floor, and it almost covers the floor. So what you want to do in a case like this is you don't want this tiny little strip over here. Can you see that? Yeah. You don't want to just put in a tiny little strip over there and a tiny little strip here. What you're going to do is you're going to take the piece of paper this direction and cut it to the width. And that way you have a much more reasonable strip of paper to finish. And you'll want to keep it wide enough to go around the front edge. You want to take that flooring all the way out past here and wrap it under. So I'll cut this to the measurement in here, which is the 8 3/4 of this back wall. So I'll do that. All right, I had to cut off a little bit more. So it's a little bit narrower than 8 3/4 because of the tape doesn't quite go all the way into the corner, but it's pretty close. And as you can see here, we are out beyond more than an inch, so that'll be easier to fold around the edge. So I will glue this in place and then get the paper for the walls on the interior. So the piece of paper I have for this wall is a little bit narrow, just like this, only I don't have any other paper to substitute. So I trimmed down the paper for the walls, and I had some significant strips, and I have put those into the corner to just make that transition around the corner the same color. So here is the paper for the back. And I will try and put that in the center, and then I am going to just go ahead and leave all that extra length and wrap it around the top of the wall. Okay, I've got that wall in, and now we're going to put this paper here. And again, I've left about 1.5 inches to wrap around the top. And yeah, it looks like, hey, I got a little bit of extra, but not quite enough to wrap around the front. So I'm going to find some paper to wrap around the front before I put this piece on. I forgot that I had printed out the living room wallpaper, an extra sheet, just so I could do this, and the kitchen. So we've got yellow on this side and green on this side, and yeah, keeping it consistent. So now I can put the wallpaper on the inside, which is not something I can do, and you can't see it. All right, we've got the inside done, and I wrapped it around the outside. When I mean the inside of this wall, I still have the other wall to do. You'll note that the corners aren't getting covered, both down here at the bottom and at the top back. I don't think for this project I'm going to worry about it, but that's something like if I had papered this front part of the floor before starting to assemble, that would have been covered. Yeah, I just didn't think about covering it. So if that's important that it be covered, it is something that probably needs to be done before you begin assembling. And you could possibly just do the little corners covered and then tape it together. So I have the kitchen wall and the living room wall, both papered. And we are definitely doing some warpage from the moisture of the glue. I wrapped the paper around the bottom, maybe just to make this a more rigid box. But the upper part of the walls are bowing, and I don't know what I can do about that at this point, except just let it dry and everything will be a lot more solid when it's done. I wish I had a block to put in here to strap the walls against so that they would be less bowed. But once everything's dry, I think I'm going to get some Mod Podge brand and put it just on the floor. And then I'll put in the baseboards just like I did in the rest of the rooms with the watercolor paper for the baseboards. So after we've given this time to dry, I'll come back and let you know what's going on. I got the finish on the floor, the Mod Podge, and I am trying to get those trim boards in, same as I did in the rest. I am not going to put any at the upper edge. I'm only putting them at the base. Trick here is to get into the room and not get the glue on anything but where you want it. Okay, first trim board in. Just a few more to go. And yeah, the Mod Podge mat is the one I used on the floor. So it has a tiny bit of gloss to it. I thought it made a good finish for the floor. And this time, I am not going into the corner with a fold on the trim board. I'm just cutting them to length and putting them in. It's kind of funny, as you get down towards the end, the paper actually wants to get away from you. Oh, that didn't go right. Okay, where's that paper towel to save us? Come on, into the corner. I got it into the corner, and then it came back out. So the Mod Podge has, am I saying that right? Mod Podge has the a better finish than diluting glue. When you make your own with a PVA glue and you dilute it, it just has a more durable finish. I don't think what I just did with a little bit of damp water there is going to mess it up in any way. And it's not as susceptible to moisture as the your diluted glue is. The diluted glue, I have noticed that if I go to wipe something up where I have used the diluted glue to seal the surface, it becomes sticky and can even, you know, kind of tear up the paper beneath if I have to have a real mess to clean up. Whereas I don't think, yep, we're already dry, and that didn't go poorly at all, other than the fact that it happened in the first place. But other than that, we're okay. All right, so I'm going to finish this up, and we'll come back with it inserted in the Highrise. Okay, here we are with the Highrise, and as often happens, a lot of the dolls move in as soon as there's any place to be. The pink case in the back is kind of representing space for storage if I decide to do that. So I just want to see what this looks like when I slide it in here. Get it right up against that case. Yep, there we are. And one of the cool things that I think is going to be one of the cool things about this is that I can take that bathroom out if I want to get a view of the kitchen or the living room from a further distance or from a different angle, and if the bathroom's in the way. So what we have right now for the bathroom is a bathtub, and that's about it. I'll need to be making a sink and toilet, I guess, and some storage. I think we need another little shelving unit or something to go in there. And I'm going to see if I can pick this up and move us over so that we can see what happened in the living room when we came in. And we slid right in there without bumping into anybody. Everybody's still got their attention where they had it. I kind of thought about sticking, like the illusion of a TV there, or because it does look like they're watching a movie. And that would be cute. But we'll see what I decide to do back there. I am really starting to feel some motivation to get that lighting in where it would be up here and not blocked by what's going on. Because like the shadow you see on the back wall is actually the camera that is sitting in front of the light source, because I can't get them where they can illuminate the room and not block the camera. It's a juggle. And if the lighting was up here where I want it, it wouldn't be a problem, and it would light up the room and not be a hassle for this. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide if this is back, if the storage area behind it. Let's try that without the storage area behind it. I think I like this better. It slides right in all the way back, and when you line up and you don't see the yellow on this side back there at the back corner, so I like that part. It gives me more space here. It feels like it's blocking the view of that less, which of course it is. And the kitchen, I don't know, maybe let me set the camera back where you can see more. So this is more of an overview of what the insert looks like. Obviously it doesn't go all the way up because it has to get past this trim board where the lighting goes. So it just fits in. So I can't make it any taller. But I think it looks fine. Especially once it needs some shelves, I think, a sink, and a toilet, or at least kind of the idea that there's a toilet in there. Make it look more like a bathroom for me. And then I think you'll be less, you start setting up photographs, it'll be less of obvious that there's the walls end. But even if you do see it, I don't think it'll be a big deal. And I hope that you picked up some tips that will help you to make an environment for your dolls that's fun, and that even if you don't make anything, that you enjoyed watching the process and maybe had a little bit of fun here. I hope you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.